Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new season of Trans Am. This is Season 4, Trans Am XL. We have some slightly altered regulations, but most notably we have a 10 race calendar for this season of Trans Am, with a few double headers to kick off the season. So let's start by going through the few slight changes to the vehicle regulations. The minimum weight has been reduced from 1,500 kilograms to 1,450, which basically allows the Shelby GT350 to enter once again. On top of that, we are allowed 1 extra horsepower over the previous season, giving us 751 horsepower. On top of that, the Pontiac Firebird Trans Am will also be allowed to enter once again, as when it raced earlier on in Season 2, it never saw much success, so we're going to give it another chance. But before we get into today's racing action, let's have a little look at the calendar for the season. The first 2 rounds are a double header, starting off at Special Stage Route X, a 2-lap sprint around a 100% flat out circuit, and then the second round, another 100% flat out circuit at Daytona, a 125 lap race there, much the same as what we did back in Season 2, though of course we don't have the Ford GT40 anymore, so that's going to be much more interesting. Moving on to the second doubleheader, rounds 3 and 4, we have Watkins Glen, a BOP race in the Chevy Novas, and then round 4 will be the Streets of Willow layout of Willow Springs. The next doubleheader will be the Northern Isle Speedway, again a BOP race in the Chevy Novas, and then moving on to round 6 will be at Road Atlanta. The remaining 4 events will be single one-off events as we've always done in the past. We'll first head to High Speed Ring for round 7, then Blue Moon Bay, the speedway layout as opposed to the infield layout we used in Season 3. That will be round 8. Round 9 will be at Kyoto Driving Park, the Miyabi layout of that, and then the final round will take place at the Daytona road course, so that one will be very interesting as well. But today we have the first 2 races lined up, Special Stage Route X and Daytona Tri-Oval. So let's get into it. And we're going to get straight into it because we didn't hold any form of qualifying for this first round. The grid set by some of the laps we did in practice. Pole position will go to Sparrow then in the number 19 Corvette. Myself starting out a second position in the number 737 Superbird in the Qantas livery. The first and only time I won't use the number 80. Then it is John Teeter ahead of Artsy starting out of P4. Starting out of P5 we have Ash in another Corvette. Seems to be a popular car for this round. And then it is Banana Notto next in line. After Banana Notto comes Jester, also in a Corvette. So we have an overload of Corvettes in this first round. Then it's Ferbs starting next, and J-Dog rounding off the grid in the Guns N' Roses livery car there. So that is how we line up for the first round of Trans Am XL Season 4. 10 races to come. Who is going to come out on top in the first round? We get racing out of the tunnel for the first time, and we immediately tuck into the slipstream of Sparrow. It's all about slipstream this race, and I think this is a race where the Superbird can be genuinely competitive. We just need to make sure we are there at the end and not to make any mistakes. So we're getting swamped at the moment, but that's not a big deal. We just need to stay in the slipstream and we can keep up. And yeah, I'm not too fussed about track position for the first lap and 3/4 of this 2-lap race. It's definitely the shortest race we've ever done in Trans Am by a long way, as we head over the bridge and far away to the opposite end of the circuit. We've dropped into last position, and a bit of smoke's coming up from the cars in front. Not a big deal, everyone's still pointing in the right direction, and the whole field still covered by small fractions of time here as we start to bump Sparrow along the straight, as he's just dropping a little bit off the queue in front, so we're trying to close that back in before we get to the banking, as out in front it's Artie who leads the way from 4th on the grid. Of course, in this kind of race, grid position is not hugely important, but Artie pushing on in front very well at the moment, as we start to contemplate the first banked corner, and yeah, it's going to be a little bit tricky to manage, but hopefully we should be alright. But in the slipstream, even on such a long corner, the car can get a little bit unstable, so as we get in that slipstream, we actually graze the wall slightly there, and that's just knocked down momentum slightly as we continue to round the corner, and unfortunately that dropped us off the back of the field and out of the slipstream, and that means our race is done before it's really gotten started. I'm desperately trying to keep up in the slipstream, but I'm just dropping further back. It's not strong enough from this distance, and yeah, with everyone in front bump drafting, our race is done at the first corner in unspectacular fashion. So we now focus to the group ahead. We're not going to see them for the rest of the race because we just don't have the speed on our own to keep up, and yeah, the fight will remain at the front of the field as Artie continues to lead the way. Artie's never won a Trans Am race before. Maybe today could be the day in the return of the Trans Am car itself. Let's see what happens as Banana in the Mustangs pushing on, as well as Ash there. So there's a good little train of cars all pushing strong in a straight line as Artie continues to lead the way. It's really just a waiting game in this race. You don't want to lead too early, but of course if you have the lead you don't want to give it up either, so it's a bit of a strange position, but yeah, the track position is not a huge deal so long as you're in that top group. You want to be there at the end and make sure you are in a good position to either hold on to the position or try to slingshot past when it comes around to the finish line. But we're only halfway around the first lap, so there's still a long way to go, relatively speaking, in this race. 3 more turns to navigate in terms of these big banked corners, and that's where things are most likely to go wrong. So keep an eye out for trouble through these bank corners as we're about to get into the second one of the race, as Artie and Banana both looking a little bit loose there to each other, but they eventually settle back down and they all get into a nice neat line there again. But the fight at the front is still well and truly on, and they're just starting to drop a couple off the back of the pack, but we'll stay focused on this front group. Artie still leading Banana and Ash as they come around to complete the first lap of 2. So we're halfway through the race at the moment. Already lost maybe a couple of contenders that are starting to drop off the back, as well as myself. I'm way behind at this point, but the fight at the front is still well and truly on, as they're all still pushing on in a straight line. J-Dog giving Ash a push. Ash moving up to give Bananotto a push. Bananotto giving Artie a push. It just dominoes along as they all continue to build speed, and more join the queue. And this basically is the aim of the game until the final few hundred meters before the finish line. But looks like we have a 6-horse race here for the lead, as we've got Jester and Tita joining the back of this queue as well. Looks like Sparrow and Ferbs have dropped off the back of this leading pack, And keep in mind, these guys are traveling at around 400 kilometers an hour at this point in 750 horsepower muscle cars. We are really moving. Well, they are. I'm not. I'm going at about a leisurely 330 or so at this point. But yeah, the top 6 are absolutely flying and just staying line astern, keeping those pushes going, and just getting further and further in front of the rest of us who have been unfortunate enough to drop out of the slipstream. But let's see what happens in the banking here. Like I said, this is the trickiest part to navigate, and some go high, some go low. Ash and J-Dog taking the short line around the corner, trying to get past the other group as they continue to race, and that is a bit of a moment between them. Ash is out of control up into the wall. Teeter gets wiped out with him, and that is a massive crash between those two. Ash still spinning round and round and round through the banking. Teeter collects it, so does Ash, and the two former champions of Trans Am side by side as they get back up to speed, but they have lost so much time and positions. They're not going to be able to recover from that by the end of the race, as Sparrow and Ferbs go through as well, catching up now to those two. So you can see just how much time Sparrow and Ferbs lost. That Teeter and Ash had 2 massive crashes, and still Ferbs and Sparrow are only just caught up. We're nowhere near them, as we see a replay, and just an awkward bit of laggy contact. I hope you don't get dizzy too easily, because that was a wild ride for Ash. Oh my goodness, that was an insane crash. And if you want to lose in this race, that's how you do it. That was a lot more spectacular than what happened to me. But anyway, there's the moment that it all went wrong for Ash and for Teeter. And we're seeing a few angles here. It's on board with Teeter. So unlucky to get caught up in that. Did a great job to catch it though, and to get going again. But yeah, both of them lost a lot of time in that, and yeah, they won't play much further part in the fight for the lead. Speaking of which, let's get back to it, because Artsy rather still leads the way, now ahead of Banana Notto, who still runs in 2nd position, but Jester now is up to 3rd after the other contenders were basically taken out. And J-Dog has lost a fair bit of time, I think, in all that as well. So it's gone from a 6-horse race to a 3, as we've only got about half a lap to go now. So it's time for Jester and Banana Notto to start thinking about where they might be able to make a move. When is the right time to get the run, to try to go for that move for the race lead? Do you want to do it during the banking, before the banking, after the banking? It could go either way at any point, and you need to make sure that you time it right. So let's see what Banana Notto tries to do. When do you stop pushing and start overtaking? They're just about to come out of the banking, and is this the time for Banana Notto to try to take that position? Not yet, just waiting and waiting. Now out of the banking, Banana Notto is still tucked into the slipstream, still pushing, now pulls out. Is there going to be a run? Not enough time, ducks back in, but Artsy has the momentum, and Artsy takes the win. Banana Notto into 2nd position, Jester takes 3rd, and none of them could get a run on Artsy towards the end. Teeter crossed the line for 4th position, great recovery from Teeter and for Ash, who is in 5th position, smoking there. Bit of an incident across the line for Ash, and J-Dog rounds out the top 6. So we'll have to see what happened at the end for this lot. On board with Teeter, got past J-Dog right at the end to get 4th place back for John Teeter. So good recovery, and looks like J-Dog just lifted off to let Ash back through after taking him out earlier in the race. So very nice there. But yeah, what a crazy finish, what a crazy final lap. But that's yeah, we didn't have any crazy run to the line, but a very close finish between the top three nonetheless. Furby finished in 7th position, spinning across the line there. Sparrow took P8, not able to catch up with or keep up with Ash and Tita even after they drop back. And then we'll slowly make our way around the final corner. Really disappointed that we couldn't play any major part in this race. But yeah, just a slight graze with the wall in the first corner, and that's all it took. So yeah, that was really frustrating. I was hoping to just be in amongst it and you know, have some fun, but unfortunately it just wasn't to be. So those are the results. First Trans Am win for Artsy, and a first win for the Trans Am, which is a really odd sentence to say that way, but a first win for the Firebird, let's call it that, to stop the Trans Am confusion there. Banananotto starts his season off in great fashion with a 2nd place finish, and Jester gets 3rd with a bonus point for fastest lap as well. The bonus point for pole is basically just given to the winner, so Artsy will get 34 points, 30 for Banananotto and 29 for Jester, given the fastest lap point there. But anyway, we're into Daytona qualifying now, and let's see what we can do here. I decided to do my lap on my own. I could have waited, you know, for others and you know, gotten some slipstream, or even on the outlap. Jester let me past, but then he couldn't tuck into the slipstream and keep up to give me the push. So unfortunately, we're on our lonesome for our qualifying lap, but it's not a huge deal. I've switched to the Ford Mustang Boss for this one, a car I'm yet to use in Trans Am until now, but it's been pretty successful. I think it's taken 2 wins up to this point, so maybe we can make it 3. But that was the best lap I could manage in qualifying. P3 behind the 2 Firebirds at the moment. One thing I'll mention right now is that I actually recorded the party chat while I was doing this race, because I thought, you know, for Daytona it would be good to, you know, include some of that communication, as well as just some of the funny stuff as well in the video. So you'll be hearing that, but that's why I've muted the audio for this section.
Those Pontiacs are leafing together.
We need to stop them.
Wow.
Oh, 40.
I couldn't keep up with player first, and I couldn't keep up with them.
Slide. I had a slide.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd give me a push, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, you got past me too quick. I slowed down too much, truthfully.
P3, it's not so bad. Another point for Artsy. Smashing it so far.
I did. I'll
He
be
can run
honest,
away with it.
I did build a car for 1 lap speed only, so...
As long as you don't spin every time your tyres blow out, it'll be fine.
All 3 tyres, guys.
Thanks for the reminder. So yeah, I'll be integrating the party chat sections into the video at certain points. But anyway, we're ready to go racing now at Daytona. 125 laps lie ahead. We're starting out of P3 this time. Few of us have changed cars, a lot of us are in the same, but we're not going to do the whole fancy grid sequence thing for this one. I've already done that once in this video. We're just going to get straight into the action here at Daytona as we get rolling towards the start of this race. We're underway, and straight away Artsy skips away. We're a little bit slower but faster than Banananotto, who's very slow off the line. We move us up into P2 immediately off the start as we start to chase down Artsy. Of course, being in the slipstream is where you want to be, so we're just going to try and tuck in behind. And obviously Artsy we saw was very quick in qualifying, working with Banananotto, so we're going to see if we can just tag along with Artsy. And actually we got a pretty decent hit from behind there, so we might go for the move around the outside of Artsy, but we can't quite get it done. Slight graze with the barrier, and there's a whole field of cars behind, so I don't really want to drop straight back into line. So I'm just going to leave it out high and wide here as we head through the kink. It's quite hard to hold the high line through the kink, and that drops us down a few more spots, but it's no big deal. As long as we can find a place to slot in, we'll be absolutely fine. We're still holding it up pretty high because Sparrow's going down the inside, but we'll be just fine. Now we can tuck in and start giving Sparrow the hurry along on the straight and try and close that bit of a gap that has emerged in front of us at the moment. But we've managed to get through the first 2 laps cleanly. We've dropped 2 spots essentially into P5, but like I said, it's no big deal. We're still in contention and there's still a long way to go, so we just need to conserve the fuel and make sure we don't get caught up in any incidents. But J-Dog got off to a great start, rounded up Sparrow and Banana Otto all before the first corner, so very quick launch for J-Dog. It seems that there are a few cars in particular, Banana Otto's, John Teeter's, and Ash's to a certain extent, but he seemed to get going pretty quickly after a moment. But yeah, John Teeter and Banana Otto very slow off the line. John Teeter drops to the back, so interesting to see there. It is possible he just put it straight up into a very high gear, but here's what happened. I was planning on just staying behind Artsy, but Jester gave me a big push, so I thought I'd go for it, but couldn't quite hold it up there, and I probably could have dropped back into line there, but I wasn't 100% sure where Jester was, and the last thing I wanted to do was pit maneuver myself across the front of the Corvette there, and a bit of contact there with J-Dog as well, which is partly what made that high line so sketchy. And then yeah, we let Sparrow go through as well before we finally found a gap to slot into there. But yeah, a tense first lap, but we all got through, pointing in the right direction, so that's the main thing. And yeah, we begin the pushing games with Sparrow to try and catch up to the top 3 once more. But further back, or further up I should say, J-Dog is up with Jester and Artsy, and looks like Jester might be going for the move, can't have the momentum, and J-Dog's going to get through there. I think Jester rolled out of it to allow that to happen.
Oh, there's big moves made. He's loving it. He's off to McDonald's.
Home delivery.
We're losing him.
Yep. Lap 6.
It's all good. We'll get back. Oi, that was a big boost. So yeah, we're just dropping off the lead pack a little bit as Ash sparks it up against the wall there. But yeah, we're dropping away at the moment.
Oh, my PS5 will enter rest mode.
Oh, what?
Press some buttons.
Oh no!
Whoops.
Press the button on your control when you enter the
Yeah,
pits.
yeah, I did.
That'd be a funny way to DNF.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
When are you boxing, Artsy?
I'm gonna box next lap actually. My front left has gone too, and it's kind of pushing a bit in the corners now. It's a bit sketchy.
The front left is gone too.
Front left?
Jeez.
Front left?
What are your tyres made from? Like Swiss cheese?
Got super softs.
Yeah. Hyper softs.
Lap 20.
And so Artsy does peel off into the pits. Clearly the tyre wear on that Trans Am not to his liking. But anyway, that's the first stint out of the way. And if those were the soft tyres, it wouldn't be so bad. But anyway, big moment there for Jester. Bit of a slide and contact with the barrier, but gets away with it. So that Corvette a little bit on edge as Jester now comes in to the pits. Meanwhile, we have more scrapping going on here as Ash has a big run and gets the move done on Sparrow along the back straight. Into the box comes Jester though for a new set of tyres. Not going to focus too much on compounds because they don't really make a difference to lap time here, and essentially it's just up to preference, whichever one feels the most stable on whoever's car with what setup they happen to be running. But J-Dog is into the pits as well, and another new set of tyres going on for J-Dog, and refueling, of course, the most important thing. But Sparrow in as well in the Camaro, so it's a busy pit lane at the moment. Alright, boxing this lap. And yeah, box this lap we will. We come in and we're going to fit the medium compound tyres for the second stint, and we'll run those for the next portion of the race. Managed a 23 lap stint, so pretty good fuel mileage in the first stint. Ash is in the pit lane as well, and yeah, we're just going to cycle through all the compounds in the first 3 stints and see which one feels the best essentially, and then we'll run that for the rest of the race after we've gotten the requirements out of the way. But that is J-Dog getting past Jester there, as we also see Artsy getting the move done around the outside, and well, that's actually to start getting laps back in this race. You can very easily lose a lap in a pit stop, so cars unlapping themselves will be something we see a lot of in this race. Banana Notto comes into the pits and gets a new set of tyres on. It's going to be plenty of pit stops throughout the course of this race as we finally reach the top of our fuel tank, and we come back out onto circuit once more. And so next into the pits is John Teeter. He's been just sort of hanging off the back of the field so far. Hasn't had any world-shattering pace, but that's not what you want to be doing at this point in the race anyway, as we make the move around the outside of Sparrow, move ourselves out of last position in this race. But I decided at this point it was time to go for the fastest lap.
Oh yeah, I'm pumping now. Oh my god.
So with a fair bit of boost running down in P7, a good slipstream from Ash in front, this is the perfect time to go for the fastest lap.
You've got your indicator on.
We go zooming on past Ash at warp speed, and now into turns 3 and 4. We're going to see if we can just carry this through, maybe get a bit of slipstream from Banana Notto in front as well, as we are gaining and gaining, and we cross the line at a blistering time from 38 seconds, 0.3. That's going to take some beating. On board with Jester, punts J-Dog into Artie. Artie's gone into the wall. Big crash there, and it's all gone wrong. From the round 1 winner into the wall. That is a disaster for Artie, and how did that happen? Let's review this. That's such a weird incident to happen in a straight line. Artie was way down low on the apron. Jester went for the push to push J-Dog, and J-Dog was just a bit misaligned. Lag definitely had something to do with that, and Artie just got turned around with absolutely no notice that was about to happen. I think it's just because J-Dog was off center, and then that little bit of lag just amplifies the collision by 1,000 and just turned it into a full-on pit maneuver. In that situation, unfortunately, Ferbs comes into the pits as well in the meantime, but yeah, that is oh, no fuel going on for Ferbs. That's interesting, but Artsy comes in. There's going to be damage to repair on that car, unfortunately, for Artsy. But yeah, that was a big one. But on board with Ash, who's grinding up against the outside wall across the line and slowing down. So I'm not sure what's going on there with Ash, but that's very weird. And Ash disconnects from the game, so that's very unfortunate. But yeah, for some reason or another, Ash lost connection and it's out of this race. We see it every once in a while, and yeah, that's just another unfortunate situation. But anyway, Ferbs comes into the pits after spending just one lap on the hards, which is probably the most interesting bit of tyre strategy so far in this race. And then yeah, comes out a fair ways behind in last position, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, time for a little bit more review of the Artsy incident.
My heart's right, man. I feel horrible though. Like,
That's alright.
It's alright. You should have just gone round, mate.
Just gotta go around.
Looks like he's going around the outside of us.
Yep, I'm just going
Around the
around.
outside, around the
Go
outside.
around.
that's what he
Going around
starts
the
doing
outside
for
player, see if you
GT.
can jump on with him.
Yeah, I'll try.
What's this? What happened with Ash?
DC. You can tell because he dropped out of the party too. It's like full dropped out,
Just
lost connection from that. I
network.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
He's got the full boost though, so
Yeah, nah.
get a bit of slipstream, but he's going to drive away.
Oh,
Sparky.
Didn't
Oh, I
even know
see
he was there.
sparks.
I was on my fuel map. Didn't even know he was there. Sorry, Ferbs.
These are all still going forward.
Didn't
Yeah,
even know
that's
he was there.
amazing.
Heard it at the last second. He came up that fast.
Yeah,
I've
he's
seen
fine.
sparks. I pulled out behind, buddy. I'm loving it here.
Sorry,
And
Ferbs.
McLovin.
It's on fuel map, no radar. Because I'm getting low. Like that sun.
So here is what happened. Jester just didn't know that Ferbs was out there on the outside, and yeah, just squeezed him up into the wall as he was, trying to push J-Dog, and yeah, Ferbs grazing up against the wall, sparks going everywhere, and yeah, thankfully I don't think he got any damage. Certainly nothing serious from that. So yeah, they're all okay to continue. But yeah, certainly a very sketchy moment at the dog leg.
whoa,
Oh,
I'm going past you now.
I'll roll out of it.
Just as you were saying that, I flicked the fuel burn up.
We go back with Artsy making the move on John Teeter, who is still yet to show any kind of pace in this race so far.
Go past.
I backed right off.
Sparky.
Good. You're good. You're good.
So I had been working with Sparrow to try and catch up to the group in front, but we just weren't making any progress, so I decided to go around. Right, going round.
there we go.
Want to get back with these guys. So yeah, I just wanted to be with the faster pack essentially, to stay in the fight towards the front of the field. I actually had to turn the fuel burn up just for a short time so we could catch up.
Alright, great.
Sounds like things are getting a little bit close for comfort up among those three, but we're going to close this gap regardless and make sure we are staying in the slipstream. We saw what it did to us at Special Stage Route X when we lost the slipstream. It's not quite as critical at Daytona, but you really don't want to lose out. So yeah, we're going to just tuck in. We've caught up again. We can turn the fuel burn back down. We've already done that. And yeah, we can settle back in once more as we see Artsy come into the pit lane for yet another pit stop. Actually had a bit of fuel to spare at the end of this stint too, so maybe tyres are an increasing concern still for Artsy, or it could just be strategic timing we don't know. But Sparrow in pits as well, and soon enough we see even more pit stops coming. That was Jester and J-Dog heading into the pit lane, and we'll see them cycle through the box as well. Of course, a new set of tyres for both of those cars, and a whole load of fuel to get them through the next stint.
How long we staying out, fire?
I don't know. I got 2.5 laps.
May as well go in, less to fill up.
True. I was just going to extend every stint, but... Oh wow, you go way over there. So, at this point, I realised that I followed Bananotto into the pits, you know, thinking that we'd come out at the same time, and, you know, continue to work together. And unfortunately, he has about 10 seconds less fuel to put in, and I'm not going to short fuel by that much. So, yeah, we got a little bit screwed there. I should have just done the extra few laps, but, yeah, I was under the impression that he had to stop now, but that gives us around about 5 seconds of extra fuel we have to put in later in the race towards the end. So just keep that in mind as we continue to watch on with the action. Sparrow getting the move done as we head along the back straight. We're a bit slow, of course, just having come out of pit lane, so we drop to the back behind this lot, but we'll carry on and keep pushing hard in this race, and you know, make sure we are conserving that fuel, which is the opposite of pushing hard, but pushing for the result. That's what I guess we are working towards. But anyway, we'll catch up to Bananotto pretty quickly, and Bananotto finds himself getting absolutely swamped there, tags along behind as John Teeter comes into the pits, and a new set of tyres go on for the Teeter-mobile, and pretty soon I think Artsy here will be getting the same treatment, dives off into pit lane, and again we'll get the pit service, get some new tyres on the car. Artsy chewing through tyres in this race, but is still running strongly at the moment after that incident earlier on. And as we continue to race on, that is J-Dog going for the move there, and gets through on Jester, moves ahead as we've just attached ourselves to the back of this train as we go back with Artsy making the move on John Teeter, who again is just looking very slow in that car. So I don't know what the plan is for John Teeter, but it's beyond me at the moment. I struggle to believe John Teeter would turn up in a car that doesn't have the speed to win. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens towards the end of the race. Does John Teeter have a plan? Ferbs is in the box, and has the car nicely serviced and ready to go once again. As into the pits also comes Sparrow, and yeah, the pit lane's a busy sight in this race.
Under. Under. Nice.
I love the increased panic.
Oh, mate. I don't like being on the kink on the outside over the start finish line.
Oh yeah.
I don't like it at all.
Yeah, I don't like it. You might remember what happened to me in the last lap of the first season.
You're on the inside, but yeah.
I was a little too inside, perhaps.
Yeah, got down on that.
I was trying to squeeze through about 4 cars at once.
I think it was about
So
8
I was
cars.
coming
It was the whole field except for me and Heafy, I think.
I had the boost and I was coming on strong.
Yeah. 0 to 0, unfortunately.
Yeah, very 0.
Ah, good times. Anyway, as we continue on, J-Dog continues to scrap it out with Jester, and we'll get the move done pretty easily there. We're now on lap 57, approaching the halfway point.
We're slowing down and off the line.
Yeah.
Oh, I had to lift them.
Someone on the right, on the
Far out.
There goes Ferbs.
Good call. Good call.
It was that we were slowing down, or there was a car coming up behind us real quick.
Poor Ferbs, here's the onboard. He's almost been squeezed into the wall, or has been squeezed into the wall before in this race. And yeah, cars going side by side. J-Dog just giving him the space there, just in time to get through.
I'm coming up on you now.
Same lap or a lap down?
Lap down. But I'm
Yeah,
hanging
for-
on.
Stay low.
Careful. On the right, on the right.
Oh,
Nice.
And that is the difference communication makes, because Sparrow's in the party with us, so you can tell us when he's coming through. Bye. Into the pits comes Artsy once more for yet another stop in this race. Probably making more than the average, I think. But anyway, the strategy will work out in the end, I'm sure, as Banana Notto makes the move around the outside, sparking it up again around the outside of J-Dog there, and moves up into the race lead for Banana Notto, and then comes straight into the pits. Okay, just burning that last bit of fuel, I suppose, to fly into pit lane, get a new set of tyres on, and go once more for Banana Notto. And Jester was actually in pit lane there as well. Into the pits also comes Sparrow, so it is that time once again where the majority of the field are making their pit stop rounds. Sparrow in for a new set of tyres and fuel, and shortly after, J-Dog follows through, also cycling through the pit lane for a new set of tyres and fuel. Anyway, as we continue on, heading back to Artsy, making the move there and getting through on Banana Notto, and continuing to charge in this race, pushing hard at the moment, and yeah, gets through with a fair bit of pace on board there as we continue to watch on. That is John Teeter coming into the pits, and he's just been very anonymous in this race. Hasn't really been involved in anything that everyone else has. Just has run, in a lot of clean air as J-Dog passes Jester. Yeah, Teeter's just very much staying out of trouble, I think, as we see myself coming into pit lane now and contemplating tyres a little bit.
player running on fumes, coasting into the pits.
Yeah, we did push that stint to its limits, 1% of fuel left as we came in. But yeah, we're gonna, I think, stick to the medium compound for the rest of the race. I think it was probably our best choice, as we see Sparrow making the move on John Teeter. Certainly haven't seen Teeter do much overtaking, I'll say that. But anyway, we'll head out of pit lane now, and we'll drop ourselves into 6th position at the moment. Just Sparrow and Teeter behind us right now. We continue on then through the race. We've got a little bit of a hurry up going on here. J-Dog giving Banana and Otto the push, and then J-Dog decides to go on through around the outside. A little bit high on the line there, but gets through nonetheless. Moves ahead of Banana Otto, as yeah, the positions change once more. But this is all building up to the final 10, 15, even 20 laps, where we'll have the final sprint to the line. But everyone's just trying to orchestrate themselves into the best positions until then. Jester moves ahead of Banana Otto as well, as we go on board with Sparrow zooming on through and taking all of these positions as J-Dog's up in the wall, sending sparks flying. No worries for Sparrow though, who's keeping it down way on the inside line, away from all those sparks. But yeah, it is going to be very interesting to see how this race continues to play out. There's the off-board shot as there were a few trying to follow through as Banananotto followed Sparrow there, overtook J-Dog, and Jester will pass J-Dog as well. So yeah, the positions in this little battle constantly changing, but for the moment Sparrow now leads this queue of cars ahead of Banananotto, J-Dog and Jester as into the pits comes Ferbs. Once again, the fuel master, I think it's got to be said, Ferbs did an extraordinarily long first stint, and Artsy into the pits as well for more fuel and tyres on the Trans Am. So yeah, it's constantly changing the order as well, so it's hard to really know who you're racing in this until that final 20 laps or so, when you can start to put the pieces together. But yeah, for the moment Sparrow is continuing to lead Banananotto at the moment, but Sparrow soon dives it into the pit lane. Sparrow's basically been using map 1 for this whole middle portion of the race and just making more stops. A very different way of going about it here at Daytona. There goes Artsy.
I'm on the bottom.
Watch out, left.
Whoa.
Nice work, man.
No matter how much you either are or are not expecting a car to come flying through, it's always a bit sketchy watching someone go past 50, 60 kilometers an hour faster as Banananotto comes into the pit lane. No tyres going on this time, just fuel for Banananotto. Oh, hello. Sorry, Ferbs.
Ferbs coming, J-Dog.
Outside. Outside.
Really?
Oh!
The Sparky.
You'd be having a heart attack.
Diamond on the left.
So again, another sketchy moment for Ferbs there, coming through from a lap down. Myself this time, almost putting him in the wall. There was slight contact, but nothing too serious. But again, it really does show the importance of being able to have that communication.
Do I pit or do I try and pass Tita? I might take the safe option. Pit early.
And so Artsy comes into the pits for a fresh set of tyres and fuel. I don't think it'll be too compromising for the strategy, because it can be pretty flexible here, as long as you still have a plan in place. As we see Banananotto making the move on Ferbs, getting it done nicely there, and moving up into P6. They're both a fair way off the lead at the moment. As we continue on, we see Sparrow once again making his way through the race leaders from a lap down. Gets through with no issue there, as we see another car in the pits. That's J-Dog getting the pit service there.
I pitted to avoid Tita and I've come out just behind him.
Oh, you should have some nice boost to get past him, at least on a straight. That's unfortunate, but yeah, I don't think that'll be too much of an issue, as into the pits comes Jester for probably his penultimate stop. It's probably that time of the race now. We're seeing penultimate pit stops being made, as we look to Ferbs and Sparrow making the move on Ferbs there. So Sparrow steadily moving through the field once more, and burning those higher fuel maps to try and stay competitive in this race. And yeah, Sparrow Might be able to make this move around the outside of Banana Notto. Is struggling a little bit, can't quite get there, and drops in behind her. So Sparrow just gaining the one position there for the moment, as we look to Artsy, who is carrying some pretty good pace at the moment, and might be in for a few overtakes here. Gets around Ferbs just through the dog leg, and now might be able to grab Sparrow and Banana Notto as well, does so, and now heads that queue in third place.
Push, Kimmy.
Oh, there's the fuel gone.
Oh, Ferbs is Randy outside of you.
Roll into the pits.
Yeah, that's done. And rolling into the pits is not only Sparrow, John Teeter is in as well, and is making yet another stop in this race. More tyres and fuel. Same for Sparrow, who was completely dry heading into the pit lane. And yeah, we'll need a full 100% refill in that car, which is drinking a lot today. As we continue on with ourselves, though, making the move around the outside of John Teeter on pit exit.
Oh, sorry. Low.
A little bit of contact between us there. Thank you. Unboxing this lap. I'll stay low. So we're on lap 92, 33 laps to go. Please don't die next to me. And yeah, we definitely can't get to the end from here, but we can make our last stop a very much shorter one if we want to from this point. So we'll bring it in to the lane, get those new tyres on again, going for the mediums for the next stint. They seem to work for us just fine in that one, as we now take a look at a replay of those couple of moments, as yeah, we just turned down on Teeter there a little bit, so yeah, that one's on me. Yeah, turned a little bit too much down on the exit, but you kind of need to do that with this car to keep it stable on the exit, so it was a little bit of both there. But anyway, Artsy was also into the pit lane as well, as we eventually fill up, and we'll get out and racing once again. We drop into 5th position for the moment, so you know, we're not dropping into last when we come out of pit lane, so you know, we're in a pretty good position, that would indicate. But anyway, as we push on or continue to watch on, Ferbs into the pit lane now for yet another stop in this race. And you know, the later people can make these penultimate stops, the shorter that final stop will be, which is why we've been trying to extend the stints. But anyway, as we continue on, there goes Artsy making the move. We're not going to fight that too much. We'll just slot in behind. And speaking of slotting in, that is Ferbs getting squeezed into the wall once again. Just didn't realize he was there. And once again, Ferbs finds himself getting squeezed out of space. That's unfortunate. It's just a continuous thing in this race. But anyway, into the pits comes Banana Notto. And this is lap 102, so 23 laps left in the race. He can probably get to the end from there. So that's something to keep an eye on as we look to Sparrow zooming on around the outside of John Teeter there, and getting that move done very nicely as Artsy comes into the pits yet again for another pit stop in this race. Once again, of course, more tyres and fuel going onto the car for Artsy, so we'll have fresher tyres than Banana Notto for what that's worth. But anyway, as Banana Notto comes out of pit lane, we'll go zooming on around the outside, but he'll come flying back through soon enough.
Inside.
On the left.
Yeah.
Right, unboxing.
Copy.
Copy.
And so Jester dives off into pit lane for what will more than likely be his final stop in this race, unless things go awry later on. Let's certainly hope not, as things did not go well for Jester last time in the final few laps here at Daytona. Sparrow in the pits as well, and they are not the only ones, as J-Dog soon comes in as well. So this seems to be the popular time to come in for final stops, and yeah, we're going to see a few of these in quick succession as we next see Ferbs coming through and coming into the pits. Again, final stop of the race for Ferbs, and fresh tyres and fuel going on board to push all the way to the end for Ferbs. And as we now look to the back section of the circuit, Sparrow coming through and making some places on the back straight. Looks like J-Dog is able to follow through as well and get past Jester there as we come into the pits for our final stop. 15 laps to go, the same lap we stopped on last time here at Daytona.
I'll knock my burn back a bit so you can keep in.
Are you pitting, Simon, or are you going
Nah.
to the end?
No, I'm going to the end.
Oh,
Interesting, as we see Tita come into the pits. Banana also going to the end, stopping on lap 102, 23 laps to go at that point. Long final stint. We'll see how that goes. But that conversation was taking place because Artsy was making the move on Banana Notto and moving ahead. So perhaps that is an indication that Artsy may have one more stop to make, despite pitting more recently than Banana Notto, I believe. But we'll see as Artsy comes around to the pit entry and has missed it straight over the infield grass, and a huge spin there. Artsy, a catastrophic mistake, and that has gone horribly wrong, and now he's having a lot of trouble getting going again. But oh, the reset all the way back to just past pit entry. That just adds insult to injury. Let's take a little listen to the live reaction while we were in pit lane.
Yeah,
Oh!
yeah.
Did you miss it?
yep.
Oh no,
I just took my normal line and
it didn't go.
it just didn't accept it. And now I'm stuck on an invisible wall. Wow.
God. That's no fun.
Why'd you crash?
Oh, now it's
Oh
reset.
god!
Oh no,
You just disappeared
Artsy!
Poor Artsy.
Mate. You were back in that.
Yeah, it was a chance, not anymore.
You were back in it by halfway through.
The rotten luck for Artsy continues at Daytona. It's a bit too late to make a comeback from this point, so it's going to be another unfortunate race, I think. But yeah, turned in just way too late. Wasn't even close to making the pit entry. Huge spin, damaged the front bar, the rear bar, the front left and the rear right, I believe. So opposite corners of the car with damage for Artsy. Drove into the invisible wall again just to make sure it was actually there. But yeah, what a disaster. Artsy eventually does make it back into pit lane, but by the time he gets the tyres changed, the fuel put on and fixes the damage, he's going to be almost 2 full laps behind, so right, I'll stay low. Yeah, it's unfortunate for Artsy, but anyway, we're about to take 4th place away from Jester. We do it at turn 1.
Fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing. I didn't even have my radar on. I looked sideways, seen you pass and pull in.
Nice. Thanks for the push. So from now on, Jester is basically going to try to help me catch up to Banana Notto in the race lead, as well as J-Dog in front. So let's have a little run through the race order, see where everyone is. Banana Notto in the lead, Sparrow in second, J-Dog third, myself in fourth position, getting the pushes from Jester while I'm saving a little bit more fuel before I can push to the very end. And then it is Street Style and Ferbs in sixth position. Still not completely out of contention in this one, and then it's John Teeter down in P7, still being pretty anonymous in this race so far. But you can never count out John Teeter. Then Artsy runs down in 8th position after having that monster moment a short time ago. Eventually does... Sparrow, is coming into pit lane. And another stop for Sparrow, who will be surely going to the end from here. That has been using a lot of fuel in that Camaro. But here comes Artsy blazing on through. And Artsy might be in good shape to set a fastest lap of the race here. Purple to the second sector, and did get a moment of slipstream from myself and Jester, so we'll see what Artsy can do. He's a long way behind the field, so the boost will be huge, and it is a purple lap. Fastest lap of the race for Artsy. Alrighty, I'm going to start pushing next lap.
I'll just try and hang on.
Yep. So the time has come, lap 120. We have the fuel to comfortably make it to the end without running out. So the fuel map goes up to 1, and it is time to focus. Get all the lines right, keep the car stable, and go chasing after first J-Dog.
Yeah, you're gone.
Oh wow.
As soon as you turned it up.
And maybe even Banana Notto if we have the time. We get past J-Dog pretty easily there, and that moves us up into second position. Will we have the time to catch Banana Notto? It's hard to say at the moment. We'll just monitor the time and see how much progress we make. At the moment, we're quite a ways away, 14 seconds off. So we really do need, several seconds a lap if we want to catch up. But I just don't know if we'll have that much. At the end of this lap, there will be 4 to go. So it's going to be pretty tight as we come around to complete the lap. We've dropped the gap under 10 seconds, so maybe there's a chance, but we're going to have to maintain this pace and hope that Banana Notto doesn't have any more fuel in reserve and is running at maximum pace. But yeah, I think just now he may have turned the fuel up. I don't know if I've got enough.
Fuel or time?
Time. I've got the pace, I've got the fuel, but I think I'm just not quite going to get there. So yeah, that is our situation at the moment. We really need one more lap, but there's only 3 to go. And doing the mental maths in my head, it just really doesn't feel like it's going to be enough. As we go on board with Sparrow, who's into the back of John Teeter. That got very awkward there, as Teeter now moves down, following Jester down the track, maybe trying to make the move around the outside. Big slide for Sparrow there, as John Teeter pulls out of line. So he's in this fight now with Jester, so this is closed up massively, as Sparrow now takes the inside line. I don't think Sparrow's fighting these guys for position. I think he's a further lap down, but there goes Teeter trying to make the move on Jester once more, and I think this time we'll get the move done, as Ferbs is coming through on J-Dog there as well. So positions changing all over the place here. The fight for third is well and truly on in this race, as we go back on board with myself. Oh, far out. What happened there? Car just started skating mid-corner. So yeah, the tyres are well and truly gone. We haven't been map 1 on dead tyres before, so that's probably why the car's handling a bit strangely. But as we now look to the race leader, soon to be a race winner, we couldn't catch him. Banana Notto is going to take victory here at Daytona. 2 wins on the trot for the Trans Am. My goodness. What's happening here for third place? John Teeter's gotten through, and a side-by-side to the line between Jester and J-Dog, and both of them I think are off song here, and they roll across the line. and I think they were both out of fuel there. So is Ferbs, and next up is Artsy crosses the line, and Sparrow will round off the field. But let's see what happened all along the back straight and through the final corner to unpack what happened here. Ferbs ran out of fuel right there, and J-Dog and Tita went round, so did Jester. Then J-Dog has a moment, he's out of fuel, huge hit into the back, and J-Dog gets launched into the air momentarily. Jester gets down the inside, they're side by side, J-Dog's forcing him down onto the grass, and they both cross the line. Jester just squeaks in front for 4th place. Oh my goodness, that was crazy. Far out. Here's another angle of it all, as yeah, Tita making the move around the outside of J-Dog. It was all relatively normal here, but then J-Dog has a huge moment that gives Tita the opportunity, but J-Dog's out of fuel anyway, comes down to the bottom of the track. Jester plows straight into the back of him, runs out of fuel as well at that moment, and then just barely has the momentum to pip J-Dog to the line. But what a finish. My goodness, let's take a little listen to the live reaction to that. Final lap. Oh, goodness me. This car's trying to kill me in these last 2 laps.
This is hectic.
Run out at the line. Maybe before. Just before. I'm out.
I'm not going to get there.
Oh,
Well done.
Ferbs is out of fuel!
Oh no.
Ferbs is out of fuel! J-Dog's loose! Oh, I'm at the limit! I'm out of fuel! Oh, so J-Dog! That was the best finish, Jay!
Did we both run out of fuel?
All 3 of us did! And I seen it happen, and I tried to get with you, and then we were side by side. Out of fuel! Oh my god!
That's hilarious.
We gotta save that one.
Yep, save that replay. Check it twice. P2, can't complain about that really. That was cool.
I don't even know who won. Banana Man?
Banana.
Well done, man.
2nd Trans Am win, I think.
Killed myself. I was
These are
coming back
all-
into contention too.
These all had boost. I never got the boost all race.
Yeah.
Not like that. 38s, 39s.
Yeah. Disappointed about the fastest lap. Oh well.
389, 328.
Oh, not by much. Far out.
Ooh-wee.
A few hundredths. Yep.
Alright guys, that was fun.
Yeah.
You hunting player. I was watching that time, and if you hadn't have said
Yeah.
that you're a lap short, I'm working it out. I'm like, oh, I'm going to struggle to turn my fuel burn up.
Yeah. It was. I was gaining about 2 seconds a lap, and the gap at the end was 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I really needed one more lap, but yeah. If I was feeling brave, I might have turned the fuel burn up a bit earlier, but I didn't want to risk it. So that brings an end to the first weekend of Trans Am racing, rounds 1 and 2, and here are the championship points. Banana Notto, a strong start to the season on 63 points. A pretty chunky lead given we're only 2 rounds in compared to Artsy on 56. So that's 7 points difference between them. Jester sits a third, 55 points. John Tita, 54 points. And then a bit of a bigger gap back to myself on 46 points. Tied with J-Dog. And then Ferbs on 42. Ash on 40 with the DNF in the second race, unfortunately, putting him down to ninth place in that one. And then Sparrow with an unfortunate run in both races. Didn't have the top end speed to compete really in either one, and yeah, finished P8 in both races. So unfortunate, but there is still a long way to go this season. But for now, that is all. So thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. Please feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. As always, very helpful. And other than that, I will see you in the next one, and goodbye.
Go around. Go around. Go around.
I did build a car for 1 lap speed only, so...
As long as you don't spin every time your tires blow out, it'll be fine.